Good day, nerds. Welcome to the Multiverse of Entertainment podcast. This is the podcast where we dive into the multiverse of movies and TV shows and check out the good, the bad, and the damn right ugly. My name is James. Welcome to the show. And this week, it's episode 29. 29 of these beauties. And what a good one we've got today. We are talking Men in Black. Before we get off, I'd like to say thank you very much for the last 2-week episodes of the podcast. As you guys know, I was away at the EGX event in London last weekend, which was really rad, really good fun. First time ever going to like a games convention. I've been to like Comic Cons before, but I've never been to a games convention, and it was lit. It was so good. Great to meet a lot of people there. Some people I've met there during the EGX community night a few weeks ago, and a few other people I've met in between and meeting there for the first time ever. So thank you very much for making the event so much fun for me. I really enjoyed it. And I'm definitely looking forward to the next EGX when that comes around next year. So last week, I made 2 episodes. I made episode 27, which is all about Rush Hour, and episode 28, which was all about the Strike It Lucky TV show from the 80s and 90s. And I would just like to say, I checked my analytics this week, and my mind was blown away. Particularly with the Rush Hour episode. Now, I thought this one was going to be quite a popular topic to talk about, because Rush Hour was amazing. Everybody loves Jackie Chan, everyone loves Chris Tucker. But wow, coming back from EGX, checking the analytics, and the YouTube video of Rush Hour has gathered, as we're speaking now, over 900 views in a week. And I know a lot of people out there are like, oh, that's not much. But for me, that is a hell of a lot, because Open All Hours was the highest rated episode on YouTube, and now Rush Hour is the highest rated video on YouTube. So I just like to say thank you all so much for that. I do appreciate it, and I'm glad you guys have taken the time out to have a look. It doesn't matter if you've listened to the entire episode, or like 10-15 minutes of it, or even 2 minutes of it. I really do. All the views count, so I really do appreciate it. Thank you very much. And don't forget, guys, I know I usually do my plugs at the end of the podcast, but please go and subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you listen to this on my YouTube channel right now, hit the subscribe button, hit the likes as well. The likes help with the algorithm. Comment as well. I will comment on, I will read comments on the show right here. And even if it's questions, I'll just say, oh, I like this podcast. So, if you don't like this podcast, hey, I really hate this podcast. So thank you very much. I do appreciate you guys doing that. So without further ado, we'll get on with this week's episode. I just wanted to get that out of the way. This week, my friend Sassy Bear Clarence is joining me, and Sassy Bear Clarence is going to be joining me the next couple of weeks. He's a guest on 3 or 4 episodes of the podcast, so it's not just me that's going to be talking. It's going to be him as well, which is great. So he's joining me on this episode, and we're going to crack on with it now, where we are talking Men in Black, which originally came out in the US in theaters on July 2nd of 1997. Wow, so long ago. Enjoy the episode, guys. Let's go. We're back, episode 29, and the main man is back, taking time out of his business schedule. As I'm recording this is Friday the 20th of October, obviously, and by the time you hear this on Monday, he would previously have wrestled at Falling Star Wrestling's Burning Heart event. I was going to say pay-per-view. It's not a pay-per-view. You can't buy it anywhere. Unless you buy a ticket, be there in person. And we don't know by the recording this, I don't know if he's won or lost. Sassy Bear Clarence, I'd just like to say, as Monday comes along, either congratulations on winning or unlucky for not winning. How you doing, dude? Are you ready to? Are you ready? Or how are you feeling? Or
I'm feeling pretty damn good, if I'm honest. I mean, it's definitely been a while since we last recorded an episode on this podcast.
yeah, we have.
I think the last one was Page Master, if I remember rightly.
Yeah, we were meant to do the Romeo and Juliet episode, but obviously, my bad, because I'm an idiot. I didn't message you in time, so just recorded. So I left it a bit too late.
I saw the episode popped out and I thought, hang on,
wait a minute.
something's missing in this. But no, honestly, I'm pretty good. I'm glad to be back on the podcast. So yeah, I'm looking forward to today.
And everybody's going to be very, very happy, I think, because we get to hear your lovely voice for 3 episodes in a row, which is great. So.
Stop it, you.
No, I know. I think I'm more excited than anybody. So, where do we have these episodes? Because you always seem to land on the episodes that are really the good ones. So, like, well, let's say good ones. I mean, there are some pretty. Well, there's one bad one, probably. Like, you know, we've had Inspector Gadget with you, Orville, Page Master.
There was a Super Mario Brothers movie as well.
The Super Mario Brothers movie as well. So we've had some good ones. We've had some pearlers.
Yeah.
And you know, and now we're lucky to have you for the next 3 weeks, which is great.
That's gonna be great.
So we're talking Men in Black. You know, Galaxy Defenders, as they say. Shout out to the song. And like. I don't know about you. We've talked verbatim. We've both seen the first one, the second one. You've seen all 3. I've only seen up to like 2. I haven't seen the third one, but we'll talk about them. And before you started recording, you said like the first one was the better film than them all, and I think
in my honest opinion, like hands down, it's the better movie. I think good reason why. I feel is it's always that one I always go back to and watch, and I always enjoy it each time I go back and watch it. Second one I've completely forgotten about at this recording because it was a very not good follow-up to the first movie. And the third one I've actually seen only once, and that was weirdly enough in cinemas. And even then, the only thing I remembered was the villain, and everything else, again, like the second movie, was a bit of a blur. So didn't really do that well in that front. But yeah, I will honestly say, in regards to Men in Black as a series, yeah, the first movie easily like the best one in the series. Definitely want to watch that too. I will say one thing, a bit of an underrated hidden gem was actually a animated TV series of Men in Black that they released, and that was actually quite good.
Yes, I remember the animated series. The animated series came out. What is it? A year after the Men in Black movie came out?
I'd say round about that sort of time.
Yeah, and I remember loving that show. Obviously, they had to be like kid friendly and stuff like that, because with us watching the show, there's a lot of like S-bombs and whatnot in this film. You know, it's a PG-13 like film. So you can get away with a couple of swear words here and there, and you know, and usually one F-bomb in a PG-13. Yeah, but there's no F-bombs in this movie. This is quite a. I think this can be a good family film, but with like if you got younger kids, obviously watch it with adults. You know, for us over in the UK, it was like a 12 rating, which is equal to a PG-13 rating. In the States,
that time,
and with this film, this film came out in 1997. So if you think about like, you know, we've got 2 great actors here. We've got Tommy Lee Jones and we've got Will Smith. Okay, and these two guys are coming off big franchise movies. Like Tommy Lee Jones is coming off Batman Forever, is playing Harvey Two-Face.
Two-Face, yes.
Yes, and Will Smith is coming off of the first Bad Boys film and Independence Day as well.
Gotcha, right.
Which came out the year before. And this film is... I thought this film was an action film, but it's classed as a science fiction action comedy film. Which hits the nail on the head on all three. And I didn't know this, but this movie is based off a comic series by Marvel.
Wait, Marvel?
Yeah, a Marvel comic series, apparently, which I didn't know about in doing my research.
That's quite interesting. I had no idea Marvel even did a comic of this initially.
No, neither did I. I mean, like, I don't know how old you were in '97, but I was 7 years old, and
I'm trying to think. So what? So this was like July '97, so I probably would have been about either 7, I'd say, as well.
Oh, we're about the same age, are we?
I would say, I mean, because if it had been in December, I would have been 8.
Okay. Right,
but
okay.
because this was like before December, so I would have still been 7 at that point.
Yeah, because this film came out. It was released in the state. I probably said this in the intro by the time this is recorded and set up. July 2nd, 1997, in the States. So this is considered a summer film. Which we all know, when there's a bunch of movies coming out in the summer of a certain year, there usually are some pretty banger ones.
Oh yeah.
So for those of you who've never seen this film, I don't know why people haven't seen this film. Men in Black is again, it's a science fiction action comedy film based on the series Marvel Comics. It was produced and distributed by Columbus Films and Sony Pictures as well. And you got really good writers. Ed Solomon's is the writer in this, and it stars an array of actors, including Tommy Lee Jones, Will Smith, Rip Torn as well. What a great name that is, Rip Torn.
That sounds like a fucking wrestling name.
It does sound like a wrestling name, but if nobody knows who Rip Torn is, he is the wheelchair guy from Dodgeball.
Yeah, I know the dude. I mean, he's been in a couple of other movies, mixture of good and unfortunately bad, but hey ho. Can't win them all, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, there's an array of good actors in this. So, you know, the film takes place in around everything happens in New York, right? Everything happens in New York. The plot is two men in black suits at the start of the film, Agent K and Agent D, interrupt a border patrol sting, and take one of the men attempted to cross the border, who is an extraterrestrial disguise named Mikey, who is this, which is actually a funny scene. And Kay's trying to talk to him and say what's going on, but then a nosy police officer catches the alien goes mad, and then Kay ultimately kills him, surrounded by, you know, blue blood and whatnot, and wipes everybody's memories, including Agent D's, which is this is a kind of like a weird thing at the start of the film and then at the end of the film, because it seems like everybody's like, oh, the stars are pretty, aren't they?
Oh yeah.
Which is kind of like a funny thing, because I'm pretty sure in like an episode of The Big Bang Theory, while Leonard, Howard, and Raj are stargazing, they're high as hell, and they look up at the stars. They go, the stars are pretty, aren't they?
Mm-hmm.
But then it goes from that to all of a sudden fast-paced action with James Darrell Edwards III, aka Will Smith, running down an alleged fleeing criminal, and then the guy catches up with the criminal, and then the guy Jay realizes he's not normal, and he gives him the criminal gives him a warning saying the world's going to end, and then, you know, it does like a shrug, and then his eyes like blink a certain way, which catches him off guard, obviously the guy kills himself, whatnot, blah blah blah. And then James is then encountered by Agent K, who Agent K then tries to recruit. And I think this is where the film starts getting, the film starts picking up, where K is trying to convince Jay that that aliens live among us, which Jay doesn't believe until I think they go into like a pawnbroker's shop, isn't it?
Yeah, pawn shop or something.
Yeah, a pawn shop, and then the guy's like, "Oh, hi, Kay, how you doing?" You know, and it tries to like not negotiate, and gives him 5 seconds to say something, or he's gonna blow his head off, which he does in a funny scene. And Jay is like, you know, trying to arrest him, and the guy gets up and his head regrows.
Yeah, that's the dude.
Yeah, what's the guy's name? It's
so the character is called Jack Jeeves, but the gentleman portraying it is a man by the name of Tony Shalhoub. I hope I'm pronouncing that name right.
Isn't he? He's been in a fair few things, isn't he?
Yeah, he has been in a fair few things. So where we are, 1987.
Yeah.
I'm just having a look at his resume. So yeah, he did Men in Black. I'm trying to think what other movies he did. Oh, he was in Galaxy Quest, which was okay. So he was Fred Kwan in Galaxy Quest.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to think. He was in the Spy Kids movie. Huh.
Spy Kids movies.
Yeah. Playing the role of Mr. Alexander Alex Minion.
Oh, I know. Yeah, the thumb guy. Yeah.
That's the one.
Yeah, that's the guy. Yeah, I remember now. What a creepy guy. Who has minions made out of thumbs? Do you know what I mean?
Oh, Christ. He apparently was the voice for Splinter in the Michael Bay Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movies as well.
Oh, yeah, of course, because James Avery's is...
Yeah, that's...
Yeah.
So James
Avery's, yeah, unfortunately. So they go through that, and then there's a scene in the film. There's a scene in this film where Kay almost is just about convinced Jay to join the Men in Black, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he sits on the bench, which has now become like this TikTok meme. I don't know if you've seen it, but it's like this green screen meme now of Kay walking away from Jay, saying, "Oh yeah, it's it's something," and he turns around and goes, "If you're strong enough." And then Jay's just sitting there on the bench all night thinking, and then you get that beautiful like shot of New York with like the Twin Towers and everything like that still there.
Yeah,
which is really weird to say, you know, looking back on these like
yeah,
on these movies, you see like the twin. Oh, dude, I've actually got peek behind the podcast. I've actually got those two films in the backlog list, ready to do, and not to talk about them at the time, but right now. But oof. Do you know what? Those two films are really, really well made, respected films. Okay, but it's tough to watch, especially Flight United 93. That film is very hard to watch. But we'll get to them another day. This is a fun podcast, not a sad podcast. But then you got Jay then comes in then to no, not Jay, sorry. It cuts to then to this farm where a farmer and his wife are just arguing about, I don't know, what the fucking people argue about in the 90s. Food? I don't know. In the Midwest, I mean, somebody will say pigs, animals. And an alien spacecraft crash lands and tears his vehicle in half. Now, I didn't know this at the time, okay? But the farmer, is none other than Vincent D'Onofrio, who plays Kingpin in the Marvel Cinematic Universe at the moment. or
Oh.
Private Pile from Private Pile from Full Metal Jacket. He's a great actor, fantastic actor, really good bad guy as well. Really good bad guy. And
that's pretty good.
Yeah, and then he investigates, and then he hears this like weird groaning voice, and he's threatening with a shotgun, and all of a sudden this big stray hand comes out of nowhere and like attacks him, and you hear a ripping, and you hear him scream, and all of a sudden you see this like skin on the floor, and then it gets dragged down, and all of a sudden he comes back, and he's like his skin's hanging off. You know, it's not him. You know, I do think this is a PG-13 1997 film, and I watched this. We watched this at like 7 years old. That part was like, all right, that's disgusting. It's cool, but it's disgusting.
I mean, it looks fucking amazing, but yeah, it does make your fucking skin crawl just like seeing. And yeah, I think at this point, it's basically just this giant alien that's masquerading in his human skin at this point.
Yeah,
there is one scene from him that, for some reason, it lives rent free in my brain, and it gives me a chuckle every time I quote it. I think it's the bit where he gets back into the house, and is that his wife or something? Basically asking him what he wants to drink, and he's just like, sugar.
Yeah.
and water. And I just remember looking at that, and that made me sort of like cringe as a kid, because hilariously enough, before this film came out, just finishing a science lesson in school, dumb me thought it would be a great idea to just mix sugar and water and see what it tasted like. It was fucking vile.
Yeah. That was the next thing I was going to say. Like, when everybody watched this film, every 7-year-old, every kid that watched this movie, did anyone ever try sugar water? I tried it.
I tried it.
Never again. No, never again.
Nah, absolutely not. Like, so literally when I just saw him just down it like some fucking alcoholic with like alcohol, I was like, ugh.
Oh man, no.
I was very uneasy with this character, but I think that was the point with the character. So
yeah, I was like, oh, that's disgusting.
Nah.
Like, no, never again. So then the guy drinks the sugar water, and then where does he go? And then it just cuts back to the agency then.
Yeah.
And you see Will Smith staring at the building. Mm-hmm. He's just staring at it ominously. He's looking at it going, yeah, I'll go in. And he walks in. And this makes me laugh with the Men in Black. There's always a guy sitting by the fan reading a newspaper.
Yeah, I remember
without fail. And then he walks in, and you know he says, somebody gave me this card at elevator, and he just doesn't say anything else, like elevator. And Jay walks into the elevator, and Kay's there waiting for him. And this is not creepy at all, is it? It's like he's just sitting there. It's like, yeah, he's coming. Can you imagine if Jay didn't come, how long Kay was in that elevator for?
Oh god.
You know, I know they probably got cameras everywhere, but it's like, you know, what if Jay never appeared? Kay would be in that elevator for years.
Who knows?
So Jay is like, yeah, all right, I'm in. Gives him some, give him some ultimatums. So call me kid, sport, you know, these little nicknames. And then immediately Kay goes, yeah, you can say whatever you want, Slick. You know what I mean? Like, for me, it's like brilliant. That bit there is like, Jay's like, I don't want to be called these nicknames. And immediately Kay just goes, all right, Slick. Brilliant. And then you get into the main compound, and then there's all aliens and humans interacting. It's like, any fruits or vegetables? And there's somebody like a fucking what's his name from Addams Family, a lurch figure grabbing some stuff, which funny enough we will see later on. And then Kay showing him around like the different equipment and what they use, and then Jay touches like this yellow orb, and then it just like shoots everywhere, damn near like decapitated 2 people. and bouncing around. You see it, all the humans are just like falling around. Hits a couple of people. For me, and Jay's like, oh, stop, get out of the way. And Kay's in the background like, oh god, grabs his glove and then just catches it, which is stupid because the thing that catches it is made out of Velcro.
Ah, right, gotcha.
Because there's a distinctive as he takes the ball off.
Okay.
Yeah, and like for me, that scene is pretty. It's comedic because Jay knows nothing. Touch it, and it's such a human thing. It's like, ooh, shiny thing, touch it, and then it just goes mental. And then you obviously get Zed coming in then, and then you get that famous line. It's time to. What did he say? He says time to suit up. I say, what suit?
Like that,
what suit? It's the last suit you ever wear. And then it goes through like the montage then of oh, sorry, I've skipped a bit. What's comedic timing is Jay's initiation in. Because he goes into the compound and he's met with military personnel, like colonels, whatnot.
Gotcha.
And they give him like all these tests. So like the first one is a written exam. And Jay is like trying to like sort all this stuff out. Jay's just watching everybody. And there are, what Americans? Why do you have on your test papers a little fucking lip where you have to put your pencil through and break it to open the test papers? Why?
I no idea.
Why? If all the questions are the same and there's no written answers in there, who gives a fuck? You're so ass backwards. But all the military guys are like flicking the pens in the air. It's like, yeah, I've opened it, look at that. And then Jay does it and he breaks the pencil in half. And then Jay's just looking around, like, oh, nobody saw that. And then realizes all the military guys are like doing the same technique. So Jay's like trying to write on the piece of paper, but he can't do it. So then he looks around, finds a table in the middle of the room that somehow nobody spots. And then he drags it down, making an audible noise, disturbing everybody, puts it up to his table. He's very happy and smiling, and he just looks at the military guys, goes, move it down a little. And all the military guys are looking at him going, what the fuck is this guy doing? and then they go into a firing range.
Right.
They go into a firing range, and all the military guys are shooting the aliens, right? Shooting the aliens and whatnot. Jay hasn't fired a shot yet, and then he eventually does, and then the simulation ends. Z comes out, goes, Edwards, what the hell happened? And he goes, hesitated, and Zed presses a button, and there's a little target of a little girl that Jay shot in the head. And it's like, what? Zed is like, is that a reason why little Susie had to die? and then Jay's giving like this explanation, and Zed's like, all right, let's hear this explanation. And Jay goes, this little girl is too calm, to be in a situation. Why is she here? And then he looks at the books, and he goes, the books here are not what your standard 9-year-old girl would look at. And Zed's looking at him going, that's very interesting. And as soon as Zed leaves, Jay looks at the military guys and goes, that was a great shot though, right? And all the military guys are like, oh, that's disgusting, sticking their nose up at him. And they all get taken away by Zed, and Kay stops Jay from entering with the military guys, because little did Jay know that the military guys are getting their minds wiped because they didn't pass and Jay had passed, so Heads got him into the Men in Black in the first place.
Huh.
And that's where you meet that's where you meet then the little alien guys.
Oh, we had the little skinny little dudes.
Yeah, the little skinny dudes.
Yeah.
You know? And then Jay is like, what the hell is this shit? You know? And then Kay's just casually like, yeah, I'll have some coffee and, you know, whatnot. Casual day in the office. And then we go, yeah. Yeah.
I just love how they're just like casually just saying it, just say, they're just fine. It's just like, but this ain't normal.
Yeah, but any human interaction knows, like, if you hear that, you see that, you're like, what is this? Where are we?
Yeah, exactly.
By the way, if anybody hears a lot of sniffing, it's me. I think I've got a cold or something. I don't know what it is. I've had it since I've come back from EGX.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, so sorry for sniffing. I'm gonna try and sniff out of the microphone a little bit.
Fair.
But then, so that bit happens, the alien thing happens, and then Jay's getting his suit then into that, and then Jay is like, yeah, I'm ready to go. Happy days, new watch, and it says, you know, I make this look good. Kay is like in the middle of deleting everything about Jay. Because I think that's the one thing about the Men in Black, is that it's a government agency, but it's a government agency where you cannot, like, be identified for anything, so your fingerprints get you know, burnt off, and you know, all your identity, social security number, everything like that gets literally wiped off the face of the map. So eventually, like, you're not dead, but you're not alive either. You're kind of like a blip,
Sort of like in limbo, like.
kind of like in limbo. Yeah. And then after that, then, you know, the boys get word that a woman in the Midwest or near New York somewhere has, like, thinks her husband is an alien and whatnot, so they go and visit her. But meanwhile, the bug guy is in the city of New York because the alien is here to find something that is called Orion's Belt. So it's like an orb with a galaxy in it, but nobody knows where it is or where it's come from. So do you know the big lanky dude?
Yes.
He's one of the guys that gets killed, as well as a guy called Rosenberg, who's a part of this royal family, which we'll discover later on. And the bug guy kills them both because apparently the cat. Why is there always a cat? I love cats, but the cat is like the key because the cat has the orb around its neck.
Yeah, that's right. He does have the around his neck. Yeah.
So it turns out to be like this big cockroach guy, right?
Yeah.
He's chasing a cat all the way through New York, and the cat is being protected by a mortician by the name of Lauren, who's played by the wonderful. Let's get her name up here. Oh, why do these actors have like really complicated names? I'm dyslexic, guys. You know,
Let's see.
it's Linda Fiorentino.
Yeah, Linda Fiorentino. Yeah,
Fiorentino, and you know, she's in there. She's in Vision Quest as well, which is quite funny.
Oh, nice.
There's a lot of people in the same franchises in this movie, and you know, while Jay and you know, J and K are sorting this out, and then they get word of the attack. So then they decide, you know what? Let's visit the mortician, and this is where like the Jay and Lauren storyline kind of kicks in, because Jay likes Lauren, but Lauren is like, I don't know about you and whatnot. But then they discover like the guy, that Rosenberg guy, has like the little green alien in his head.
Oh, yeah.
And you also discover as well that Jay is very crap, at keeping like alibis, false names, and stuff like that. Because he lets slip. He goes, Dr. K, I mean, Dr. whatever his fucking name was. You know? Oh, isn't that one where K goes, I'm Dr. something, and then he immediately goes to Jay, goes, this is Dr. White, which which in my mind is like, that's quite a funny joke, because he's a black man, but he's called Dr. White, which is hilarious. I think that's comedy gold, and the way Will Smith looks at him and goes, "What the fuck," you know. And then it turns into this thing then where the bug guy finds the mortician place, attacks the girl, grabs the cat, and then the cat escapes, but he also takes the what's it called, the fucking thing with them, swallows it. And then they go off to the Vanity Fair, where you have like this great scene of the great scene of Kay telling Jay, do you remember the little red button on the gear stick? And he tells her to press it. The car transforms into like this power hyperspeed machine.
Oh yeah, it just like bypasses all the traffic in the tunnel.
Yeah, and then Jay's not wearing his seatbelt, so he's being like propelled everywhere in the car.
Down and he just falls on the roof.
Yeah, and he starts standing up and turns upright and then falls down with Elvis playing in the background. Which is a great scene, and Will Smith plays that off really well.
Yeah, like that's always been like one of the like key memorable scenes from the movie, is literally the scene where the car just transforms, they're in the tunnel, and yeah, he's basically just getting twatted around in the car as it goes upside down and everything. That's great.
Oh, it's great. And then like even before then, like Jay jumps into the car and he's like, oh, I don't need a seatbelt to be fine. Kay's like, all right. And then powers it, and then Jay doesn't realize how powerful this car is, because to him it's just a Lincoln Continental, but really underneath it's like a Ford Mustang or something, which is really rapid. But then they get to the fair. The creepy guy is like trying to climb up to one of the spaceships, because they've got like 2 spaceships at the fair, which they think they don't work right. But then turns out they do work. It's just we're stupid and we can't figure it out. And he checks the girl off the thing, and she lands in a tree, which is quite melodramatic in itself.
All right.
And the spaceship launches, but Jay and Kay arrive in the car and bring out like the big guns from the boot. And they shoot the alien ship down. Dramatic, wanna. The alien guy then shows his real self, takes him out of his human skin and everything, which is quite disgusting. It's like peeling a rotten banana. That's the only way I could describe it, with shit coming out of it.
Oh god, yeah. Oh.
Yeah, and then it turns out he's a really big cockroach, an alien cockroach, and Kay is like antagonizing him and gets eaten. And now Jay thinks, oh, that's it, Kay's dead. Well, no, Jay's like trying to antagonize him and everything up, but he's getting his like shit beaten out of him. Does he get lobbed into like a dumpster which had a lot of cockroaches on it? And then Jay realized, wait a minute, I wonder if I step on one of these, and then steps on it.
Yeah, and that pisses him off.
Pisses her off, and then all of a sudden he goes, oh, I'm sorry, is that your auntie? And maybe I could kill your uncle too. And it starts killing them, which is great. It's such a great scene. It's a serious scene, but with a bit of comedy element into it as well.
Oh, that's brilliant.
And then he gives him that enough time where Jay is like, where Kay only got eaten because the alien guy had like eaten the guns. So he's like, I've got to get my guns back, and then he eats the guns. And then Jay gives him enough time to like for Kay to grab his gun, and then like shoots him in half, basically, and they're all covered in like funk and gunk and spunk and everything, really.
Just makes you think of that scene in Ghostbusters where Bill Murray was just like, he slimes me.
Yeah, and Ray's in the background going, "That's great, actual physical contact." Brilliant. I love that. It's like he's like he's slimy. That's great.
Yeah.
I feel like that's us in that situation. Like I'm the Bill Morris, like, oh, that's disgusting. And you're like, that's great. Actual physical contact. Can you move?
Right.
Immediately, can you move? I feel so funky. But then they think the alien is dead. But the alien, the bug, this is the great name for the alien. The alien in this movie is called the Bug.
Yeah, literally
called Bug. And the Bug then tries and eats Jay, I think. Tries to eat Jay, but then it gets exploded again, and then Laura and the girl, who's fallen out of the tree at this point.
Yes.
Holding the gun. Yeah, holding the gun. She's like, you look like you guys could need some help. And they're all looking at her going, bitch, I'm already fucking wet. I don't need it anymore. You know?
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah. But then they end up back at the agency, all like clean and pristine.
Yeah, that must have been quite the quick cleanup.
That was a quick cleanup, wasn't it? And then Kay is like, you know, I've had my time is done with this agency now. It's time for me to go. And he looks up at the stars again. Go, the stars are pretty, aren't they? And you know, Jay wipes his memory and whatnot, and then you've got Jay, which is quite funny because you see that scene, and then you see newspapers falling on the floor, and then all of a sudden, oh, there's Kay with his wife. You know, like, and he's been missing. He's been missing for years, and he's now come back. Which turns out, by the way, spoiler alert for number 2. It turns out he's just a mailman who got lost.
Yeah, pretty much.
Which is fucking hilarious. And then Will Smith is like, yeah, new sunglasses on, looks dope. And then Laura is now part of the Men in Black going by the Agent L. And then they just drive off with hot dogs.
Fair enough.
And then the movie ends. And then the movie pans out with the world through the universe. And turns out the universe, all the universe is, or our galaxy is a bunch of marbles being played by aliens. So apparently we live in a marble. So if you ever kick around a marble, just remember, that will. Could be
your planet.
That could be your planet. Yeah. That could be your planet. But yeah, this movie, like, that's just the basic rundown of it. I mean, we can talk about like the funny aspects of the films, I think there was one moment I do remember, and I think it's like when they give like Agent J this tiny ass looking gun, but every time he fires it, he flies backwards. When they get the weapons for the first time, and Kay's teasing him with like the big pistol. And Will Smith's like, oh, that's what I'm talking about. And then all of a sudden, Kay just comes with noisy cricket. And then Jay is like, I'm not happy with this gun. What the hell am I supposed to do with a pea shooter? And then he realizes, fuck, this is actually a powerful gun.
Yep.
That's why they always say, ladies and gentlemen, never underestimate. That's why good things come in small packages. Remember that.
Never judge a book by its cover.
Never judge a book by its cover. And you know that, there's somebody we've forgotten to talk about.
Oh, the dog.
The dog. Frank the dog.
Frank the pug.
Frank the pug. And I think this is probably one of the most hilarious scenes in the thing. And generally, pugs actually like this to happen to them, okay? Where Kay is trying to convince Frank, and Frank is like, no, not now, Kay. Kay literally grabs Frank and starts swinging him and shaking him and everything like that. That is fucking hilarious. And I don't care. That is going to be like the outro thing to this podcast by the time this ends, right? that whole entire scene is like, like, oh, fucking great. That's rent free in my head right now.
Like, the guy that actually does the voice for Frank the Pug is Tim Blaney, who also did the voice for Johnny Five in the Short Circuit movies.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So that was actually the same guy that did the voice for Johnny Five in those movies. He's mostly been like a puppeteer for like a load of other movies, like Blues Brothers 2000, How the Grinch Stole Christmas.
Oh, wait, he plays Johnny Five.
Oh, he does the voice for Johnny Five.
Oh, wow. Okay, that's awesome.
So he provides the voice for Johnny Five.
Oh, that's fucking rent free in my head now. I just want to see the movie just for that fucking scene.
Great.
But like, there's a lot of great things in this film. There is a lot, and a fun fact as well. The studio originally wanted Clint Eastwood to play Agent K. Yeah,
so they originally wanted Clint Eastwood for the part. And basically, Jones really accepted the role after, like, Spielberg promised the script would improve, because when he saw the first draft, he reportedly said it stank and just didn't feel like it captured the tone in the comics.
Oh.
So it was quite interesting how they originally wanted Clint Eastwood. That would have been a fucking interesting movie, just Clint Eastwood as fucking Agent K. But I think Tommy Lee Jones just works better for this role.
Yeah, can you imagine? No, in another universe, in another timeline somewhere, Clint Eastwood's actually playing this role. And you just think to yourself, could you imagine Dirty Harry in an alien film? That'd be fucking great.
It's just like, go ahead, make my day.
Yeah.
Well, that joke. Oh, that would have been hilarious. I think on the discussions of like roles that were originally given to someone but then switched. Originally, Agent J, the studio wanted Chris O'Donnell, aka Robin from Batman Forever and Batman and Robin, to do the portrayal of Agent J originally. However, the director of the movie, Barry Sonnenfeld, basically he was told by Spielberg to basically go to dinner with him and convince him to like accept the script. Instead, he took him to dinner and basically then told him to not accept the role, saying that it was not a good director and that the script was one O'Donnell should skip. And interestingly enough, after that, they were originally also going to give the role to David Schwimmer, aka Ross from Friends. But he turned down the part, and how they ended up getting Will Smith to be on board was, it turned out Barry Sonnenfeld's wife was actually a fan of The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Makes sense.
And Sonnenfeld also liked Will Smith's performance in the movie 6 Degrees of Separation.
Well, the thing was, The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air finished, what, 2 years? Oh, not too long, like 1986. The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air finished. So this was like a year out.
Yes, like a year afterwards, yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So it kind of shows where Will Smith was like this TV, like music and TV star, but then it slowly transitioned into movies, because I'm pretty Independence Day was I don't know which one it was. I'm pretty sure it was Bad Boys was his first major film, and then Independence Day came in, and then 6 Degrees of Separation came after it, and then this.
Yeah. Like,
oh no, I'm wrong. No, I'm wrong. 6 Degrees of Separation was a 1993 film.
So even earlier.
So interesting. Very interesting. You learn everything with this podcast when we do. That's why I love doing this. It's great.
Certainly do. And of it, on the last subject of originally given to role to a character but then switch, was the role of Edgar, aka the Bug.
Yeah.
2 people that were originally offered the role, but then they turned them down due to scheduling conflicts. One of those men was John Turturro, who you may know as Seymour Simmons from the Michael Bay Transformers movies.
Oh, wow.
And this one definitely surprised me. The second person they offered the role, but he turned down, Bruce Campbell.
Oh, fucking hell.
Could you... picture this in my head. Imagine in a universe somewhere, Clint Eastwood is Agent K, Chris O'Donnell or David Schwimmer is Agent J, and either John Turturro or Bruce Campbell was fucking the Bug.
That's mental. In a different universe, there probably is that version of this film.
I mean, if there was such a thing of that existing, I'd be intrigued to see, simply just to see what the fuck Bruce Campbell does, because usually Bruce Campbell has like a load of fun in like sort of like low budgeted sort of like stuff. He always brings the fun to like 11 every time he does a role.
Well, I mean, can you imagine though, if Bruce Campbell's in this film, the question I would have is, would he have ended up being in those cameos in like the Spider-Man movies and in Marvel today?
That is a curious thought now that you mention it.
You know what I mean? Because like, obviously Bruce Campbell and Sam Raimi are like really good friends. You know,
close friends,
very close friends,
dating all the way back to the Evil Dead movies.
Yeah, and you know, if for those of you who don't know, Bruce Campbell, you know, he was the announcer in the first Spider-Man film. He was somebody in the second Spider-Man film. I'm not too sure if he was in the third one. I'm pretty sure he was at some point.
He was either a butler or a doorman. I can't remember one of the other.
And then in more recent times, Bruce Campbell did a cameo in Doctor Strange's Multiverse of Madness as a hot dog vendor in the universe where the Illuminati are. And gotcha. I'm pretty sure that he briefly is in a cameo in No Way Home as well. I'm pretty sure he is.
Wow.
Somewhere. So he does get around a lot.
Oh, he certainly does. You know, absolutely.
And like with the rumors at the moment of like new Spider-Man films coming out through like Sony, you know, with Toby and Andrew, which by the way, 100% backing, you know, especially with the ones with like if Tom Hardy is involved with Venom as well. Which, by the way, this is coming out on the 23rd of October, and by the time this is out, it would be 3 days into Spider-Man 2's release for the PS5. I just want to say, everybody playing Spider-Man 2 right now, I fucking hate you all. I'm jealous of you all, and I hope you're enjoying the game, so thank you. You know, bastards. But yeah, I mean, there's so many possibilities with this film where you could have turned around and just gone, hey, this would have been, if it was casted this way or casted that way, then it would have been, wow. Can you imagine what I don't think it would have been like a comedy film if like Clint Eastwood was involved.
I mean, you say that, but didn't he also do a movie with an orangutan?
I think so.
So,
probably, yeah.
I guess anything's possible with Clint Eastwood, really. So,
I want to have a look now. Hold on. Hold on. We're not ending this episode yet until I find out. Did
great.
Eastwood play in a movie with an orangutan? He did.
Yeah, I thought he did.
Mantis the orangutan.
Yep, I thought he definitely did.
Which is a 1987 film. Do you know what? For the life of me, I just want to find that film just to review it on this podcast, see if it's any good or not.
I think on the discussion of Sam Raimi, there was another movie I was reminded of, which Bruce Campbell, of course, cameos in as well. Dark Man.
Dark Man?
No, Dark Man.
Dark Man.
So it's like this titular character that Liam Neeson plays. As in Taken Liam Neeson.
Oh, yes.
And there is one scene from that movie that I always find fucking hilarious. And it's basically like he's with his partner. They're in this carnival, and he's doing like this carnival game to win a pink elephant for her. And I think halfway through, after being provoked by this man, he rips this guy's hands off. And then he grabs the pink elephant, and then he looks at his partner and be like, take the fucking elephant. Take the fucking pink elephant. And I'm like, seeing Liam Neeson act like this is fucking hilarious.
Joe, there's so many films. Since doing this podcast, there's so many films I've discovered that I'm just like, I need to review these now just to watch.
Yeah.
Just to watch these films, to review them, to see how bad and good. This is the whole premise of the podcast, find the good, the bad, and the damn right ugly films and TV shows.
Obscure.
Oh yeah, so like outrageous. Where are we? Oh Christ, we nearly hit an hour now. So,
no worries.
So we'll talk about. I mean, is there anything else to talk about this film? Because if you look at it, okay, this film's budget was $90 million, okay, and in the box office, it smashed the box office by like 6 times. Yeah, for 6 times that. You know,
589.4 million. Jeez,
that's crazy.
That's fucking impressive. Like to go from 90 million to just shoot up to that amount. Like fuck.
Yeah, and shout out as well. Everybody knows I like a good soundtrack, and I like the soundtrack in this hits. And the music is done by the amazing Danny Elfman, who we all know with like the original Batman theme and Nightmare Before Christmas as well. Some pretty good ties of movies there, so we can't really complain with the music.
Oh, of course not. No.
I don't know if anybody remembers this, but somebody will. Last point before we rate this, okay?
Right.
Did you ever on the VHS version of this movie, did you ever wait till the end of the credits just to see the music video at the end?
Yes, now you mention it.
Yeah.
Yes, I do remember that.
Yeah.
The original VHS. Wow.
Yeah. See, people call our generation degenerates, but we had the best shit ever.
Like we had that shit before the Marvel movies. So
we did have the shit, before the Marvel films. We did have that stuff. So it's all class. It's all good, man. Like if you grew up with VHSs, you knew you had like some music videos at the end and whatnot.
There's always like some goodies at the end.
There was always some goodies at the end. Fun fact, if you didn't know, Titanic had a secret scene at the end of Titanic. Do you know what happened?
I'm trying to think if I remember this or not.
Nothing. Everybody died. It was nothing. There was no room for a sequel. So.
Oh, that's fucking hilarious.
But it's true. People are hyping up at the moment that there's a Titanic 2 coming out. It's like, how are you going to make a sequel to Titanic? The boat hit the iceberg. It sank. Everybody died. Well, not everybody, but everybody on the ship fucking died practically.
What is Jack just going to rise up from the fucking dead?
It's like, he raises up and goes, "Sorry guys, just kidding." Like,
where the fuck's everyone?
What's he doing? Fucking Captain America, like he's frozen in time and doesn't age. Jesus Christ.
Just find his body like just frozen in the sea somewhere and just
and then all of a sudden ends up like the $6 million man, changes his name to Steve Austin. We can rebuild him.
Oh, good grief.
Can you imagine that? I know there's a lot of people that's looking forward to a Titanic 2, but if they release a Titanic 2, all right, I will end the podcast. I will end the podcast. And I know there's a lot of people out there like, oh, fuck, get it done now. Like, it's never going to happen. If it happens, I will end my podcast. I'll review it first and then end my podcast.
Good. Like, I'm a bit shocked that they're even planning a sequel to Titanic, really, because, spoiler alerts, I found the original movie, for the most part, quite dull, if anything.
Oh, dude. Like, I can't wait to talk about the Titanic movie. I cannot wait.
Yeah, like, I mean, there are some memorable, quotable moments in that movie, like King of the World, Draw Me Like Your French Girls, and even Billy Zane being fucking nuts. But genuinely, initially, when I was watching this movie, apart from those quotable moments, I was mostly asleep until they hit the iceberg. The iceberg bit is the bit I woke up and paid attention and just watched everyone fucking die.
Yeah, it's kind of like everyone wants to see the ship launch from Southampton, and then everyone wants to see everybody die in the ship sinking. It sounds morbid, but that's the whole point. And everything in between, nobody gives a fuck. Yeah, all right, Kate Winslet is a really good-looking lady, but you know, and then, you know, yeah, you get to see her naked, but who gives a fuck? You know,
it's like we're literally waiting for the inevitable.
Yeah, I just want to see the ship sink. It sounds morbid, but that's the whole point, right?
I mean, why else would you do a movie about the Titanic? Oh wait, it fucking sunk. Oh, let's see how we can do this.
Yeah, do I really give a fuck that like these two teenage kids fall in love and like, you know, draw each other eventually. Anyways. One draws one of them naked and then like bang inside of a fucking Austin 7. Who gives a fuck? Do you know what I mean? Like, have you never seen dogging? Have you never seen somebody dog before? It's the same thing. I mean, it's on the ship.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, just on a ship instead of in a car.
Oh god, fucking hilarious.
Different. But yeah, it's just hilarious how he's like this artist and he's like got her in the little pose and she's like, draw me like one of your French girls.
Oh god, this is such cheese fucking ball movies.
Hilariously, I remember actually seeing someone's basically like edited like the trailer for Titanic, but they've replaced Kate Winslet with a cat. And it's just like, it's just Leonardo DiCaprio just dancing with this cat, and there's literally this one scene where he's just done a doodle of the cat, and Kate Winslet looks at him and is like, "The fuck is wrong with you?"
Oh,
was
no,
fucking hilarious.
No, right. I'll find a space for Titanic. Where's Titanic? Oh, no, I'll find a space for it somewhere. I'll probably replace it with something. Maybe yeah, I'll replace something. I don't know. Yeah. Anyway, well, that's the Titanic film. Oh god. No, I love the Titanic film. It's great. It's a masterpiece. Don't make a sequel of something that doesn't need to be a sequel of.
It's a very pointless idea for a sequel. It's like, you just done the Titanic movie. What's going to happen? Oh, they're going to release another boat, and then that sinks.
Yeah, I mean, have you seen Futurama?
I mean, yeah.
You know, they did make a Titanic episode in Futurama, and the same thing happened with that ship.
I remember with that one, and I think there was like the love interest of Bender just dies. And...
yeah.
It's the one where he collects like a little jewelry off of her. And be like, oh, I can still sell this, and then Hermie's just like, oh no, it's fake. I'm gonna have a fucking wild ride for the Futurama episode. I can't wait.
The Futurama episode is like season 1, and that's in like season 2, the Titanic episode. But fucking.
But even then, there's a load of like series 1 episodes I remember so fondly.
I know. That's next week. Right, let's cap off Men in Black.
Yeah.
Now, before we go on a tangent about other things. Where are we ranking this? Like, for me, this is it's obviously a rewatchable movie. A timeless
100%.
Timeless movie, rewatchable. What would you give this? Let's give it out of the runtime is 98 minutes, so it's just over an hour and a half. So out of 98, where would you rank this?
Fucking hell. I mean, in terms of just like how memorable the movie is, how fun it is to just watch, and also a high replayability with the movie as well. And everyone did fantastic as their characters, as their roles. I'm probably going to give it, in my honest opinion, I'm going to give it a 97 out of 98. Because, I mean, I've never believed in like, you know, perfect movies, because there's always going to be like one thing that's going to like gripe you with a movie. Wait.
Did you not hear the Romeo and Juliet episode? I gave that a 10. I gave that a 10 or a 10. That is a perfect movie.
I mean,
Let's be honest.
I mean, it's a great movie, and again, that's a movie I do remember a lot, especially from like English class in secondary school, where we literally to like watch that movie when doing Romeo and Juliet.
In my opinion, that's a perfect 10 film for what it is.
I mean, I like the way how they like tweaked it and modernized it, and they did it in a way where it wasn't shameless or anything. It was done relatively really well,
out of respect and everything.
Exactly, like, and I feel like. Exactly, and they even kept like some of the Shakespeare tone of like the dialogue as well, which was again quite interesting.
Yeah,
again,
it's just William Shakespeare just modernized.
Yeah, it's literally like a modern Shakespeare's tale.
Like everyone's seen the sword play and stuff like that. Let's just do guns. Fuck it.
Let's put guns and maybe the occasional shanking.
Yeah, that as well. Which with glass, which is like, you know.
Oh yes.
Who knew Luigi can throw glass? Fucking hell. 97. Oh Christ, I would give this. See, no, I would give it a perfect score, just for the dog swinging fucking scene.
I mean, to be fair,
but I'm
the
not
dog
doing
scene
that.
was a highlight.
Yeah,
for me, like that and many others, like the gun firing, flying backwards, and just like I said, the scene of fucking Edgegar being there's like sugar and water.
Yeah, I would give it a 90. I would give it a 95. I won't go as high as you, but I'll give it a 95. The points I'm deducting for are sugar water.
Really?
Yes. That's just pure filth. And
I mean, fair.
And the plot is where it falls for me, where they chase a cat.
Yeah, I mean that's probably the only reason I gave it a 97 rather than a 98 was just the whole cat thing. I thought was like
and then what was the other thing? The skinning of the human.
I mean, that is quite.
Yeah, that's quite grotesque as well. So,
for a PG movie,
for a PG-13, 12 movie, people are like really giving deduct points to them. It's like, yeah, I'm a pussy. Fuck off. Do you know what I mean? Like, I hate fucking horror films. But yeah, oh, that's awesome, dude. That's awesome. Yeah, I think we've spoken enough now on this.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, what else is there to say?
Well, the floor is yours, my friend. So, everybody knows who you are and whatnot. You can give the people what they want. Go on, give them what they want.
Yeah, sure, of course. I mean, if you ever want to like check out any form of Sassy Bear Clarence content through various platforms, I've said it again, but I've said it before, but I'll definitely say it again to anyone that's just joined here now. You can find me at Clarence Sassy on both Instagram and Twitter. You can also find me at Sassy Bear Clarence on TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch, where I'll be streaming a multitude of different content, whether it be video games, art, maybe the occasional wrestling content, who knows? But yes, you will definitely catch me on all that. And also, like we briefly mentioned earlier, tomorrow I'll be wrestling as part of Falling Star Wrestling's Burning Hearts show, where I'll be competing against Furio for their Limitless Championship in a sassy street fight. So that's if you're in the Kings Lynn area, definitely get a ticket down there because it's going to be a hell of a show. I mean, there's a lot going on in that show, but absolutely, it's going to be a wild time.
Could have said it better myself, dude. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
You'll catch Sassy Bear in the next 3 weeks on this podcast. So by the time next week's podcast comes on, we'll hear the results of what happened on Saturday. So fingers crossed.
Of course. Fingers crossed.
Yeah. Brilliant. Cheers, dude. Good luck for tomorrow.
Thank you.
Hopefully I can be there. I plan on being there, but at the moment, see
how you feel. Yeah.
At the moment, it's not looking likely due to funds and stuff like that because of my EGX weekend. But
gotcha.
If I don't see you tomorrow, we'll catch you on I'll catch you on Sunday for the Futurama episode. So
Yeah, I'll definitely catch you then, buddy.
oh, how about see you in a bit.
See you in a bit.
You busy, Frank?
Sorry, Kay, can't talk right now. My flight's leaving. Wow! Get your paws off!
Call the pound, we got a stray.
The dog owes my friend money.
Killians and bugs, Frank, what do you know?
I know nothing.
Not a thing.
Stop it, okay. Rosenberg wasn't some two-bit Archillian. He was the guardian of a whole galaxy. They thought he'd be safe here on Earth.
And the bug had other plans.
The galaxy is the best source for subatomic energy in the universe. If the bugs get their slimy claws on it, kiss the Archillians goodbye.
Ask him about the belt.
Rosenberg said something about a galaxy on Orion's belt. What's he talking about, Frank?
Beats me.
Beats you.
They're rehearsing a ventriloquist act.
The galaxy is here!
And that's it, everybody. Thank you very much for tuning in. This was episode 29, entitled Men in Black for the Multiverse of Entertainment podcast. If you like this episode, like the other 28 episodes that's previously been shown on this wonderful podcast of ours, then please give us a follow on all our social medias at Multiverse of Entertainment Pod on Instagram, Mo Podcast on TikTok. You can follow me at ItzThatNerdJames on Instagram, TikTok. You could catch me on Twitch as well. I'll go on there a couple of days a week to play some video games. And you can also catch us on YouTube as well. You can catch me on YouTube and this podcast on YouTube at ItzThatNerdJames on YouTube. Like and subscribe to the channel. Don't miss anything here. Give us a review as well. You can listen to us on audio form on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, and much more as well. All the links are down below in the description as well, so don't forget to check it out. And of course, Sassy Bear Clarence's links will be down below as well as per usual. Next week, we are on episode 30, and we are talking Futurama Season 1, and Sassy Bear is going to be joining me for that one as well. So, have a good one, stay nerdy, and let's rock out to the theme song that we love so much. Have a good one, see you next week, bye!